Right, the printer here, Epson P20500, is loaded up with Epson's premium luster paper. It's on a 64-inch roll. I'm just going to do a quick test print here. I say quick test print. This is an image I took when I was on Suffolk coast. I'll put some details in the notes for it, but it is basically a picture of gravel beach, bit of sea, some sky and the moon. And I want to just see how well it prints on this. Now, I have actually prepared profiles for this and done this on a previous visit here. But I've got the image loaded into Epson Print Layout, and that's what I'm going to print from. Now, I'm using a custom page size. I've created a custom page size of 60 inches square, and that's the paper size I'm going to use for printing with this. Now, usual settings for this, I've set high quality black overcoat, gives the best quality on this with this particular ink set. For color management, I'm not using the auto select for the profile. I'm going to select my own profile. Profile here is one I made using the premium luster photo paper setting. I'm just going to select that. That looks fine. I'm going to just press print. I'm going to pull the tray out at the bottom here to catch the print because it is a big print. Sending print data. As I say, I'm connected this with USB purely because here it's a bit easier to use USB on some of these printers than it is go through the network and things. It not being my network for starters. Well, the printer's starting up. Whirring, paper's moved. I've run a nozzle check earlier. Just one of those things. If you're going to print a big picture, run a nozzle check, use a tiny bit of paper and stuff, and well, anyway. And here it is. The head is moving across at about this rate, but it's a much bigger head, so yes, it appears to be moving quite slowly across, but it's actually printing quite a large band. Printers like this are capable of putting much more ink down on the paper than at the same speed, so you get the prints appear quicker. So I'm just looking here at the sky and it looks just fine. So we're just going to leave this one to run for a bit, and I will have another giant print. Incidentally, this giant print, it's quite an important image to me, and I have mentioned this in the past when I did the Pro 1100 review. I tested it, but obviously not at this size. So this and another image, two of them quite personal and matter to me personally. So, but I'll cover that in something else. And here we can see the print coming out. It's coming out at a reasonable speed. If you think of the width of this, if you're printing this on another printer, on a smaller printer, you'd be waiting a long while for it. The print head system from us. And here we have the moon coming out. This image, by the way, is taken with GFX 100S. I can't remember whether I stitched this one or not. I will have to have a look, but it's lots of megapixels, whatever it is. I've prepared it so the image can be printed at this size. But remember, prints at this size, you handle sharpening in a different way because you don't look at prints at the same distance. Now, I do sometimes do very large prints where I want people to go up close and look at them, but this is one that's meant to be viewed from a distance. It's very simple color, it's a very simple composition. Anyway, it'll take a little while yet. The display on this is very similar to other current Epson printers, not dissimilar to this P5300 here, and looking at it, it says that it's got 14 minutes remaining to print. Now, the guides on this are usually pretty accurate, but remember that people are unlikely to be using a printer like this using software printing directly from Photoshop, using Epson Print Layout, although it is designed for all these big printers, and people will be using other rips and other software like that. Now, that's not stuff I test very often. I may have a look at something next time I get a big printer, but that probably depends as much as anything on me having a much larger office than the current one I've got, the temporary office I've got in our new house. Anyway, this is printing really well. It comes out, it will collect perfectly well in this. I will be careful about moving it afterwards when it finally comes out. But in terms of general operation of the printer, this is as easy to print with as this P5300. It's, if you've printed with a P900 or P700, it's very similar. Now, it's got things like, as I mentioned, the ability to clean the print heads and things like that, access to stuff, production things and that. The roll handling is quite advanced in it. But when it comes down to it, the actual printing, there's not much very different from printing on this, even printing on Karen's Epson 8550. And you'll be not surprised to know that there is not an ET 8550 anywhere in Epson's demo room. This is the big printer's demo room, and the 8550 would not be let through the door, I suspect, even though it's a very good printer. But you know, as I say, you want a good printer, then something like this. So there you have it. After a while I was away having a cup of tea, it's finished, and it has finished the print. We'll take the print out and have a look at it in a bit, but at the moment I'm not touching at the moment because I need to clean my hands. Watch out handling prints like this. Yeah, it is quite tricky to do. Right, now I'm going to actually remove this roll and put a smaller roll on it. These rolls are awkward to handle, so let's see how this goes. If I just go to remove on the menu here, it'll eject the paper. At the moment it's under here, it'll roll it back up. I'll have to take it off here, put it on this stand, take the end caps off, and then we'll see about putting a smaller roll of something else onto it. It's just printed a note on the end of the paper here, the barcode, and says that it has 18.5 meters left on the roll. Let's release that. There we go, one roll of paper ready to put away. Right, now to load a smaller roll, 24 inch. This is smooth cotton bright paper, if I remember rightly. I'll check it on the box before I do anything. But I made a profile for this last time I was here, so I'm just going to try some black and white prints and a few other bits and pieces to see how well it performs. Just listen for the beep. Set the paper type. We'll load this 24 inch roll. Now I'm going to have to chop a bit off the end of this because it's been standing about, it's got some finger marks on the first few inches of it, so it just needs trimming. There's several back and forth movements here, checks the edge, various other things, getting rid of skew and the likes. Press the scissors button and advance the paper. And there we go, just cut off some paper at the front which had been damaged. I can see a few finger marks, some ink, various marks and stuff. Don't really want that on a print, so there we are. It's now loaded up with a 24-inch roll of cotton rag paper, and so I'm just going to sort out some stuff to print on it, but that's how you set that. This is a print of a scanned negative I'm making on the cotton rag paper I've put in. It's using the ultra smooth fine art setting that's on that, and I'm printing it using Epson Print Layout using the ABW print mode because I know from previous testing that it works. The image itself is a photograph taken in 1967 by a friend of mine on the set of the film Barbarella, and it's Jane Fonda. This is actually from a photo shoot for the film. These images were sort of stored away on somebody's negatives for a long while, and we had them drum scanned, and they actually make some very nice prints. As you see, it's printing at a fair old speed. It says on the display here there's only 2 more minutes left for it. Now, I've not linearized this or done anything special for it because I know from when I tested last time, the ABW mode works really well for most black and white. You could probably improve it a bit on a per paper basis, but nobody's ever going to notice probably. And there we have 1967 Jane Fonda on the set of Barbarella. This is an excellent printer if you're making large black and white prints. The ink set works very well. It doesn't have quite the same number of greys that the P20500 did, but I certainly know from profiling it and testing it, it gives good black and white prints. Anyway, they are making a black and white print, biggish black and white print on a P20500.